All right, here we go with evaluating a function, and we do have two places where we have to plug in or substitute the value that we are trying to figure out. So um, you've got f of x equals this. This is the function of x. So they're giving us the function, and we're told that we're evaluating it when we have f of -2. Now think about what happened. We had f of x, and now we have f of -2. All that's changed is that the x has been substituted with -2. That means that we go into what it's equal to, and we substitute -2. So I'm going to go in and write this, but without the x's. In place, I'm going to put parentheses. So I've got x squared plus 4x plus 2. And so where the x's were, I've put a parentheses. And now I'm going to substitute what x equals. It's equal to -2 in this problem. And so I'm going to plug in a -2. So the reason, there's a couple of reasons for the parentheses. One is if you're depending on your calculator and you don't use parentheses, it's going to give you the wrong answer because you have to be in charge. You have to say, I need you to square this whole thing, this -2. If you don't do that, it's going to only square the 2 and then multiply it by a -1, which is not right. So, but it also kind of helps you to think through, okay, this is -2 times -2, so that's 4. And then 4 times -2 is -8. 4 minus 8 is -4. -4 plus 2 is -2. So it's kind of cool for this one. And this is not like always, because if this always worked out, then you wouldn't have to do any of this. You would just say if it says f of -2, the answer is -2. That's not always the way it works. But the function of -2 in this case is -2. That just means if I put in a -2 into this function, I'm going to get a -2 back out. It doesn't mean if I put in a -1, I'm going to get -1 back out of it. Or if I put in a 3, I'm going to get 3. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It just means for -2, that is what I get out in this function. All right. I hope that helps you, and I'll see you next time.